Hey folks, today I'm continuing the King's Quest series by playing through King's Quest III to Heir is Human, released by Sierra in 1986. Like the others, I'm playing this on ScumVM. This was one of the first adventure games that I played, so I have a lot of memories of trying to solve these puzzles back then. How some of them were simple, but also as a kid there were a lot that didn't seem so simple. Anyway, I'll watch the short introduction sequence before starting the game. Gwydion is a lonely lad of 17 who has lived for as long as he can remember with an evil and cruel wizard by the name of Manannan. Gwydion gazes upon the countryside of Llewdor with longing, wishing he were free to leave. But, alas, such is not the case. Manannan treats the poor boy like his slave, ordering him about, constantly threatening him, and refusing to ever let him leave the premises. Often, Gwydion wonders who he really is and how he came to live with the old wizard, but Manannan offers no help in that regard. Suddenly, the front door opens and out stalks Manannan, the wizard. "Gwydion!" he shouts harshly. Oh, Gwydion rushes to his side, afraid he may be in trouble. "Why you not working, boy?" the wizard sneers. Gwydion mumbles a faint reply. "The kitchen floor is filthy," Manannan grumbles. "Go sweep it now." Turning on his heel, the wizard re-enters the house, slamming the door behind him. Such is the story of young Gwydion's life to this point. What's a poor boy to do? Oh well. In resignation, Gwydion obediently follows Manannan into the house. Okay. This one starts out a bit different, where there's no immediate connection to King Graham in the earlier games of the series, but brief spoilers, it does eventually connect later. Okay. Let's increase the speed a little bit to fast walking. I guess he told me to sweep the kitchen floor, right? So this is where Manannan eats his meals. You, of course, are not supposed to eat here. You eat in the kitchen. There is a pine table and benches large enough to seat at least 10 people, but the wizard has never had any guests for dinner. Look, table. The large dining table is made of pine planking. Matching benches run its length on both sides. The table is big enough to seat at least 10 people. There is a little metal cup on the table. Get cup. You pick up the little tin cup and carry it with you. This is the kitchen of the wizard's house. Other than your own bedchamber, this is the only place in the house that you feel you can call your own. The wizard rarely enters the kitchen. On cold days, the fireplace is a cozy place to sit. Look, table. You use the heavy oak table when you prepare food for the wizard. Right now, there is a loaf of bread, some fruit, and a mutton chop on the table. Get food. You take the loaf of bread and carry it with you. You take the fruit and carry it with you. You take the mutton chop and carry it with you. Get broom, since I was asked to clean the kitchen. Look, wall. There is an iron rack hanging on the wall by the fireplace. Your trusty knife is hanging on the rack. Your wooden serving spoon is hanging on the rack. Get knife. You take the carving knife from the iron rack and keep it with you. Get spoon. You take the wooden spoon from the iron rack and keep it with you. Bookshelves. The kitchen shelf holds many ingredients and kitchen implements for cooking. One useful item that catches your eye is the clay bowl you use for all your mixing. Dip bowl. You retrieve the clay bowl from the kitchen shelf and take it with you. This is the main entry room of the wizard's house. The front door is to the south. Creaky stairs go upstairs, and the doorways lead north and east. Let's look at what we have in the inventory. Knife is big enough and sharp enough to carve a large roast. This is a wooden kitchen spoon. You love the smell of freshly baked bread. This is a leftover mutton chop that the old wizard hadn't finished. It still looks appetizing, though, but it wasn't in the fridge. The clay bowl has been your favorite bowl for years. This is just a simple metal cup with a handle. The fruit consists of an apple and some grapes. They look sweet, fresh, and juicy. Look, cat. That detestable pet of Manannan's is a constant annoyance. Manannan is very private with his study and doesn't like you poking around. The huge oak desk is covered with his writing implements. An oak cabinet is in the corner. There is a chart on the rear wall. The bookshelves are filled with books on every subject. The wizard fancies himself to be quite a scholar. Okay, we're not supposed to spend a lot of time in there while the wizard's around. This hallway is on the second level of the old wizard's house. There are two stairways here. One goes up and the other leads down. An open doorway is to the north. You have always admired this lovely tapestry. It adds one of the few bright spots to this dreary house. Look behind a tapestry. You lift the bottom of the tapestry and peer behind it. The wall is filled with cracks. You can see why Manannan would hang a tapestry here. There are also dozens of charcoal scribbled drawings, diagrams, maps, and notes to the programmers with the legend King's Quest IV. But you're uninterested in this since you presently have your hands full with King's Quest III. Lower the tapestry and smooth out the wrinkles. Now, as a kid, I remember trying forever to see, like, oh, what could I uncover about King's Quest IV? This is your own pitiful bedchamber. Compared to Manannan's fine room, yours is almost a cell. The bed is hard and uncomfortable with only a threadbare blanket and a small flat pillow. The other furnishings are junk, but as poor as it is, it's your own haven, as the wizard never enters it. You look at Manannan's elegant bedchamber. You see fine furnishings from a regal bed to a beautifully carved closet. You can't help but compare this handsome room to your own meager cubicle. Manannan's around here somewhere. Just haven't run into him yet. You've entered the musty tower of the old wizard's house. A polished brass telescope is directed out the window. From here, Manannan spies upon the poor occupants of Llewdor. Let's save at this point. I don't think I'll get in trouble by looking through telescope. Look in telescope. Put your eye to the glass. It amazes you how near everything seems. You can even see squirrels climbing faraway trees. No wonder the wizard knows all activities in Llewdor. The cat is in the way. Kick a cat. Screech. Hehehe. right now I'm just wandering around. There is not much else I can do until... Oh, there he is. Look, wizard. Manannan appears older than old. His long white beard straggles thinly past his waist. His skin resembles old parchment paper, and his hands are gnarled and twisted. But don't be fooled. The old wizard is smart and powerful, and his magic is formidable. Just checking on me. So he's sometimes up here. I'm going to go in and out a few times. There he is. You see Manannan spying on the poor citizens of Llewdor. He grunts, clicks his tongue, and mutters to himself. He is spying so intensely he hasn't noticed you. Tisk, tisk, what a shame, and they seem so obedient at first. So at this point, we're just waiting for Manannan to leave the house. Tisk, tisk, what a shame. That's what he said before. Gwydion, I have decided to take a journey. And there we go. Alright. Now, this is where the fun begins. Look, floor. You see nothing on the dusty floor but a dead fly. Get fly. You pick up the dead fly and drop it into your hand. Disgustedly, you look at it. I don't want to carry around a dead fly, you think. Picking off its wings, you throw the rest away. Okay. Fly wings. No, fly wings has a star next to it. Things with a star are magic ingredients. And those are things that if the wizard catches me with, then he will kill me. So, the fly wings are remarkably beautiful for having come from such a disagreeable insect. So, the manual that comes with this game is kind of the copy protection. It includes a lot of things, a lot of recipes for magic spells and their ingredients. And so now part of the game is going around Llewdor and Manannan's house and collecting those ingredients so you can cast some spells. So we'll go through his room. In the vanity drawer are many uninteresting items, although the wizard's hand mirror may come in handy. You grab it, then close the drawer. Open cabinet. Look in cabinet. You see voluminous velvet robes, satin slippers, and peaked hats, and soft linen gowns. Look behind robes. You're startled to discover an ancient parchment scroll. Its ink has faded, but it seems to be a map. Taking this treasure, you leave everything else exactly as it was. Close cabinet. Feel above cabinet. You run a hand along the top of the closet. Suddenly you touch something metallic. Grabbing it, you discover a small brass key. What could it unlock? Open drawer. You find baubles and trinkets which do not interest you. Suddenly your eye falls on something that does. A vial labeled rose petal essence, which you eagerly take. Close drawer. Oh, okay. So that map and key on that cabinet, I don't know how you're supposed to find out that those are there. Those were secrets traded at the lunch table at school. That's how I learned that those were there. Look desk. The massive desk is made from oak. The wizard does all his reading, writing, and calculating here. Open desk. You open the large desk's only drawer, but you see nothing interesting. Before you're caught, you close it. Okay. unlock cabinet. You unlock the open cabinet using the brass key. Inside, you find the wizard's magic wand. You take it with you, knowing it could mean death if he finds it missing. After closing the door, you carefully relock it. Look, chart. Chart has no meaning to you. Okay. Look, shelves. So many books line the bookshelf, you wonder when Manannan has time to read them all. Titles cover many subjects, from ancient Arabic mythology to a study of the heavens to the philosophies of Socrates. Look, books. Carefully examining the bookshelf, you notice a glint of metal behind one huge volume. Move books. Push the large book aside, revealing a metal lever attached to the back of the bookshelf. Pull lever. A trapdoor opens, revealing steep stone steps leading into darkness. You are on a flight of steep underground stone steps. They curve downward toward a dim light. You open the open trapdoor is above you. Sometimes Manannan's cat appears here, and you can easily trip over him and fall to your death. You look in awe around this torchlit underground room. It appears to be a laboratory, a wizard's laboratory. Against the earthen walls, there are rows of shelves holding numerous jars which contain strange, unknown ingredients. The shelves also hold skeletons of small animals and birds, some human skulls and bones, and other odd instruments whose use you do not know. Against the earth wall is a massive oak table with a spacious worktop. The narrow stone steps lead up to the wizard's study. Bookshelves. You curiously gaze at the strange jars of ingredients, the animal and human bones, and other odd implements which line the rows of shelves. You see jars of ingredients resting on labeled shelves, shelves bearing such ghastly names as powdered fishbone, nightshade juice, mandrake root powder, saffron, toad spittle, and toadstool powder. Okay. We get powdered fishbone. Remove the jar labeled powdered fishbone from the laboratory shelf and carry it with you. All right, get mandrake root powder. Remove it and carry it with you. Get nightshade juice. Remove it and carry it with you. Get toad stool powder. Get toad spittle. And get saffron. Remove the jar labeled saffron from the laboratory shelf and carry it with you. Okay. Look, desk. Against the earth wall is a massive oak table with a spacious worktop. Atop the oak table are a large leather-bound book, a mortar and pestle, a little brazier holding charcoal, and a flint, plus measuring cups, beakers, flasks, and stirrers. Okay, so at this point, this is where the game's copy protection comes into play, which at the time, in order to copy protect the game, you had to open up the manual, which I'm going to do in another window here, and reference the spell in the manual, which would give you the ingredients that you would need, and a recipe that you would have to recite into the book. And it also gave you the page number of the book that you needed. There are 7 spells altogether. Right now, we only have ingredients for one of them. So that's the first one that we're going to cast here. And then let's also just take a quick look at the items that we have in inventory. So powdered fishbone. Within the glass jar, you see your white fishbone powder and emits a faint, fishy smell. Saffron. Inside the jar, you see the saffron, an orange-yellow powdery substance. The fly wings are remarkably beautiful for having come from such a disagreeable insect. The little vial of rose petal essence has a delicate, sweet aroma. The glass jar of mandrake root powder has an earthy, bitter smell to it. Toad spittle is unpleasant stuff, to say the least. The magic wand is cool and smooth to the touch and creamy white in color. You think it might be fashioned from ivory. Okay, and then we have inside. I think I looked at this one already. Nightshade juice. The nightshade juice sloshes around inside the glass jar. Toadstool powder. The cream-colored toadstool powder is finely textured and nearly odorless. The small brass key is brightly polished. The mirror is set in a round oak frame with a long handle. You peer into it and see your rather dirty but handsome face. And the magic map. The magic map's ink has faded away. So far, it isn't much help. Press F6 to teleport and F8 to put the map away. Okay, so this map allows you to teleport around Llewdor. Right now, I haven't visited any of the lands outside the mountain, so nothing shows on the map. But once I start visiting those regions, then those squares will uncover themselves, and I can teleport there. So let's put it away. We're going to go here, and we're going to read book page IV for Flying Like an Eagle or Fly. With trembling hands, you turn the pages of the sorcery of old and prepare to follow its instructions precisely. You know you must work with the utmost care. Every step is critical. Each must be done in the proper way in the proper sequence. You tremble in anticipation. Put a pinch of saffron in essence. You carefully sprinkle the precious saffron into the vial of rose petal essence. O winged spirits, set me free. So this is the incantation of earthly bindings, just like thee. In this essence, behold the might to grant the precious gift of light. Wave magic wand. You wave the magic wand over the vial of rose petal essence. Successfully completing the spell, you again look at the wizard's laboratory. Okay, that was the simplest spell, probably of all of them. If you make an error when you're casting these, then the spell backfires and you have to restart. The little vial of magic essence has a delicate, sweet aroma. Okay. So in order to use this, I have to get fly wings, which we have, or an eagle feather, dip them in the essence, and it'll transform me. And then I can recite something in order to transform back. Good, no cat. Right. You open the front door of the house and go outside. The lone mountain rises from the forest of Llewdor to this cloud-encircled peak. Here is the somber house of Manannan, where you and he reside. Open gate. Get chicken. Gotcha. You managed to catch a chicken, but what are you going to do with it? Get feather. Tucking the chicken firmly under one arm, you gently pluck a small feather, then let it go. Open gate. The winding path spirals steeply down the mountainside. It leads from the wizard's house at the top to the forests of Llewdor below. Okay, so I remember this being a lot of fun when I was younger, making my way down this mountain. Took a lot of trial and error to try to do it successfully. But I think I have that movement memory kind of ingrained now. And this part, you can't see your feet, so I don't know if you're live or what. There we go. Nice. Okay, sweet. We made it down without incident. Sometimes the eagle appears here. No. Okay, so on these screens, pretty much many of the screens around the mountain, an eagle has a chance of appearing within the first few seconds. And then it also has, after it appears, a chance of dropping a feather. That feather is something that we're going to need. The problem is that the eagle just takes a while to spawn through random chance, and then randomly drops the feather. Oh, there's our eagle. Drop a feather for me? No. Sad. Oh, yay! Oh, that wasn't too bad of a wait. Okay. Let's look. The beautiful stream ripples through these stately trees. Look, stream. Clear water flows over and around the rocks of the stream. Wet mud lines its banks. Get mud. With the wooden spoon, you kneel and scoop a spoonful of wet mud from the stream's bank. You carry it with you. We're going to need that for one of our spells. Come back here and address this area later. The stream flows by a huge dark cave. Look, cave. There is an opening in the side of the hill, which is covered by a huge spider web. Inside, it is as black as pitch. The many beautiful trees bring a sense of peace to this forest. You see an impassable mountain to the south. The soft, loamy soil of the forest here gives way to the sands of the great desert, stretching off to the west. Sometimes bandits appear on the screen, so I like to stay to the side. The most hideous-looking being has made its appearance. It's Medusa. All right, wait for her to get close, and then let her see her own reflection. Averting your eyes, you aim the wizard's hand mirror at Medusa's face. A scream pierces the air as she beholds her own hideous reflection. Then, nothing. You dare to look. Medusa has turned herself to stone. You find yourself at the edge of a great desert, stretching as far as the eye can see to the west. The parched sands of the desert seem to reach forever westward. You notice a dried snakeskin lying on the hot ground. You retrieve the dried snakeskin from the hot desert sand. It is delicate and could easily crumble. That's the same description it gave us before. You notice an unusual little cactus beside that large rock. Yet, cactus. Okay. The beautiful trees of the forest to the east grow sparse as they reach the edge of the great desert to the west. You do notice one particularly large oak tree. What a fine oak, you think. You look up into the towering oak tree. You can only see large, spreading branches and thick leaves. Looking down, you see a small hole between the tree's large roots. These two are certainly unsavory rogues. They look like they'd rob you blind, and they will. All right, have to be careful for them again. Look in hole. You lie down on the ground and look into the small hole. It's too dark inside to see anything. Look, acorns. The acorns surround the old tree and crunch onto your step. Get acorns. You pick and poke among the fallen acorns, looking for dried ones. You eventually find 3 dried acorns and take them with you. The many beautiful trees bring a sense of peace to this forest. This is the comfortable home of the 3 bears. A well-tended flower garden grows out front. Mama Bear growls at you as you near the flower bed. Better stay away from it and her. Okay? Yeah, she's still there. We have to come back there. Let's see if they're home. Sometimes you can see them leave. Oh, okay. Yeah, he's still home. Scram, growls Papa Bear. We're not interested. Okay. What's this? 3 clothed bears? You hear Papa Bear exclaim, "What a beautiful day for a stroll through the forest." Open door. You are in the charming home of the 3 bears. Mama Bear certainly does keep her house nice and cozy. All right, I need to get the... waiting for something to be on that table. There we go. Just needed a few tries. Eerie that you leave and come back and the table's changed, but that's how it works. Look, table. A large wooden table is cleaned and polished. There are 3 bowls of porridge on the table. You're surprised that bears eat porridge. You always thought they ate honey and berries. Okay. Look, bowl. Look, porridge. There are 3 bowls of porridge on the table. Okay. This bowl of porridge is much too hot. This bowl of porridge is much too cold. We're going to get this porridge. This bowl of porridge is just right, so you take it with you. Open drawer. Look in drawer. You see a few bear-sized clothes and a silver thimble. You open the drawer, and among the clothes you see a pretty silver thimble. Get thimble. You pick up the thimble and carry it with you. Close drawer. Sorry I had to steal your stuff, bears. Look garden. There are lovely flowers growing in this well-tended garden. Their sweet scent and beautiful colors delight you. Look flowers. Carefully peek into the pretty flowers of the flower garden. Drops of glistening dew have gathered within their soft petals. Get dew. Holding the silver thimble beneath a dew-filled flower, you gently tip the flower so its dew runs into the thimble. You move from flower to flower, repeating the process until your thimble is brimming with dew. You are standing atop a bluff overlooking the ocean and see a village to the north. The soft grass of the forest has been replaced by the coarse grass of the seashore. The trees here are stunted and twisted by strong ocean winds. Look tree. One of the trees has a light green-colored plant growing upon it. On closer inspection, you see that it's mistletoe. Get mistletoe. You search among the hanging mistletoe until you find a sprig that has dried. You break it off and carry it with you. The sandy beach stretches north and south below steep, grassy cliffs. Get water. You fill your cup with ocean water. The sandy beach stretches north and south below steep, grassy cliffs. You have entered a quaint seaside town. Smoke curls lazily from the houses and shops overlooking the ocean. A pier stretches out into the bay. Near the pier, you notice a store and a tavern. Okay, we'll go into the store later because we don't have any money yet. Let's go to the tavern. Bottles of rum and wine sit atop shelves behind the bar. Two surly-looking characters are drinking ale at the table. Looking closer, you see that they are the bandits from the forest. One of the surly-looking characters yells to the barmaid, "Wench, come o'er here with more ale." Okay. Let's be a fly on the wall. Dip fly wings in essence. You overhear snatches of the two bandits' conversation. "Squirm just like a pig, and that rope you rigged inside of that big oak tree works great. Now nobody'll e'er find our hideout. Well, I'll bet even that wizard." All right. Let's fly on over to the oak tree. At least the bandits can't rob me while I'm a fly. In your insect form, you fit easily through the hole in the tree. You have flown through the hole at the base of the tree and are now inside the hollow trunk. You see a rope leading up into a small hole above you. This area is cramped and confining, even for a fly. Look, rope. Buzzed. Okay. All right, so we want to transform back. We say, "Fly be gone, myself return." The impulse to buzz around has vanished. You feel yourself growing bigger, so you head for what you hope is a safe place to land. Feel inside hole. You lie down on the ground and reach into the small hole. You feel around inside the hollow tree and discover a rope stretching up into the tree. You pull it, and, to your amazement, a rope ladder falls from the branches above. You are standing outside a shack that has been built in the branches of the spreading oak tree. A rope ladder leads down toward the ground. Look in house. There seems to be somebody moving around inside the treehouse. Okay, so we have to leave and come back until that person is asleep. You can see very little of the interior from out here, but there seems to be a figure sleeping in a chair. Okay, perfect. You have entered the bandits' hideout. One of them is sleeping at a small table. Look table. There is a leather coin purse lying on top of a wobbly table. Get purse. You very carefully lift the coin purse off the table, practically out from under the sleeping bandit's nose. Look trunk. The shabby wooden bin is built into a corner of the treehouse. It is covered by a hinged lid. Open trunk. You slowly lift the lid and hope the squeaky hinges do not wake the bandit. Look in trunk. There is nothing in the bin. Okay, this is where my possessions would go if I got caught, but that didn't happen. So, all right. Well, the bandits are back. All right, let's head back into the shops. Ouch! I just thought that was funny. Open door. Good day to you, young man, greets the storekeeper. What can I do for you? Look, the store is full of general merchandise and supplies to meet the needs of the village. A friendly storekeeper bustles busily behind the counter. Look, shelves. The shelves are filled with all sorts of useful items. There are a few items of particular interest to you. Leather pouches, salt, fish oil, and lard. These are all things that we're going to need to cast spells. So, buy pouch. A wise purchase, sir, the balding storekeeper states. You will find no better pouch in the land. That will be 1 gold coin. What else can I get for you? Asked the amiable storekeeper. Buy salt. With a smile, the storekeeper says, I guarantee you will be happy with this salt, young sir. That will be 1 gold coin. What else can I get for you? Buy lard. Smiling, the storekeeper says, you'll be very happy with this lard. That will be 1 gold coin. What else can I get for you? What was the other item? Is it fish oil? Yes, buy fish oil. Smiling, the storekeeper says, you'll be very happy with this fish oil. That will be 1 gold coin. All right. Look, dog. The dog lying on the floor is obviously a mutt. The name, Kenny, is embossed on his leather collar. Pet Kenny. As you pet him, Kenny licks your hand and thumps his tail in appreciation. A small wad of dog fur collects in your hand, and you tuck it into your pocket for later use. I've got some dusting to do, the shopkeeper says, turning around. Just let me know when you need something. All right, that is all I need. I think I got all the things that I need. Let's see. A lone mountain rises sharply from the forest floor, its jagged peak encircled by dark clouds. A treacherous path winds its way up the steep mountainside. You and the wizard Manannan live at the top of this peak. Let's look at the items that we've obtained here to make sure that we have everything that we need. You eagerly peek inside the soft leather coin purse and discover it contains some shiny gold coins. You may want to count them. Oh, sure, count coins. How many do I have left? You have 4 gold coins. What else? Cactus. The greenish-gray cactus is small, plump, and fleshy. There's nothing very interesting about this jar of whitish, thick lard. The metal cup has ocean water in it. A strong, fishy smell emanates from the glass jar. This is a plain leather pouch, useful for storing liquid or dry ingredients. Right now, it is empty. Looking inside the salt bag, you see the coarse grains of salt. The eagle's tail feather makes you wonder what it would be like to soar among the clouds. The wad of dog hair is dirty white and brown. The chicken feather is small and light, no more than a piece of fluff. The dry, thin snake skin is extremely fragile. The dew sparkles within the little silver thimble. The dried sprig of mistletoe is a thick grayish-green with remnants of little berries still attached. It is not a pretty plant. The 3 acorns are dried and brittle. The warm porridge is in a pretty blue ceramic bowl. Its aroma wafts up to you and tantalizes your nose. A spoonful of mud is already dried. Okay. I think those are all the items that I've collected. I still have one more to use the eagle feather, but we are about 6.5 minutes out from the wizard returning, so it's probably better to just head back at this point. So save my game to make sure I don't fall. Good news is that now that we've uncovered areas on the magic map, I won't have to take the path down, but I will have to take the path up. Okay. I need to get the cat. Where is that mangy cat? Here he is. Look, cat. That detestable pet of Manannan's is a constant annoyance. Get cat. The despicable cat slips away from your grasp with a fierce scratch to your arm. This takes a few tries. Okay. Nimbly, you grab the nasty cat by the scruff of its neck, avoiding its needle-sharp claws. Now that you have it, what are you going to do with it? Get cat fur. Screech. Hehehe. You manage to pluck some fur before he viciously scratches and leaps from your arms. With grim satisfaction, you survey your wounds. Stupid cat, you scoff. Whether you know it or not, you just helped me. The detestable cat leaps from your arms, snarling and screeching. And now we have the cat hair. You hold a small ball of black cat fur in your hand. Okay. From here, I'm going to pull up the spell book again. And I need transforming another into a cat. Okay. Read book. What page is this? XXV. So that's 25. With trembling hands, you turn the pages of the Sorcery of Old and prepare to follow the instructions precisely. You know you must work with the utmost care. Every step is critical. Each must be done in the proper way, in the proper sequence. You tremble in anticipation. So, yeah, as before, just need to make sure that the steps are done in order and try to avoid mistakes, particularly in the incantation. Put mandrake root powder in bowl. You pour the mandrake root powder into the bowl. Put cat hair in bowl. You put the ball of cat hair in the mixing bowl. Put 2 spoons of fish oil in bowl. You pour the fish oil into the bowl and keep the empty jar. Stir mixture with spoon. You mix the ingredients together. The mixture turns into an oily, disagreeable dough with cat hairs sticking out of it. Put dough on table. Scrunching your nose in distaste, you grab the oily dough from the clay bowl and put it on the oaken table. Pat the dough into cookie. Pushing the palm of your hand on the oily dough, you flatten it until it is in the shape of a cookie. After a bit, the cookie hardens. Mandrake root and hair of cat. Mix oil of fish and give a pat. A feline from the one who eats this appetizing magic treat. Wave magic wand. You wave the magic wand over the cookie, then take it from the table and carry it with you. Successfully completing the spell, you again look at the wizard's laboratory. Okay, so now we have cat cookie. The only resemblance to a real cookie is its flat, round shape. It is hard and has cat hair sticking out of it. Definitely not appetizing. So we can't feed that to the wizard as it is. So we're going to put cookie in porridge. The porridge conceals the crumbled cookie. It still looks as appetizing as ever. And now we have poison porridge. You were careful when you crumbled the cat cookie in the porridge. It looks just like a plain bowl of porridge. Okay. So now we have to reset a few things. So that way Manannan doesn't suspect that I was in his lab. We'll want to close the trapdoor, pull lever. The trapdoor groans shut, disappearing into the floorboards. Move books. You move the big book back where you found it, so it again conceals the metal lever. You don't want the old wizard to grow suspicious of your activities. Unlock cabinet. You unlock the oaken cabinet using the brass key. You carefully replace the magic wand exactly as you found it. After closing the door, you carefully relock it. Okay. So we have the trapdoor closed. We returned his magic wand. Now I have to hide all the items in my inventory that have a star after them. And the place to do that is the one room in the house that he never visits. My room. So put everything under bed. You get on your hands and knees and quickly shove all your possessions under the bed. They will be safe from the wizard's sharp eyes there. Get porridge. Dropping to your knees, you reach under the bed and retrieve it. So now we have the poison porridge, no star. Save the game, and now we wait. I think putting the items under the bed was uh, another thing that I had learned from trading hints in school. Back then, before the internet, where you could just look up a walkthrough, you could buy the hint book. You could there was a 1-900 number, which was you would pay per call to get hints. Or you would just have to try to collaborate or try to solve puzzles with your friends. Remember many times playing this as a kid, Manannan going on several journeys and me making the journey down the mountain each time. Sometimes I get caught. Um, but I've kind of optimized this run now. I can do it all in the first journey. It's almost at the 30-minute mark, so he should be returning soon. And there he is. I have returned, Gwydion, and I am ready to eat. Manannan is impatiently waiting for his food. His stomach rumbles as he drums his gnarled fingers on the table. You'd better feed him quickly, or dire consequences may result. Put porridge on table. You place the food on the dining table before the hungry wizard. Ravenously, he devours every bit of it. You fooled him. Manannan didn't realize the porridge was tainted and ate the whole bowl. Congratulations, Manannan will never again enslave you or the people of Llewdor. At last, you are free. All right. Now we can go and get all our stuff back. And we have a bunch more spells to cast. Get all. Dropping to your knees, you reach under the bed and retrieve all your possessions. Unlock cabinet. You unlock the oaken cabinet using the brass key. Inside, you find the wizard's magic wand. After closing the door, you carefully relock it. Move book. You push the large book aside, revealing a metal lever attached to the back of the bookshelf. Pull lever. A trap door opens, revealing steep stone steps leading into darkness. Okay. Let's cast a few more spells. Surprised the cat hasn't shown up on the steps at all. Uh, Usually when I play, it's pretty common that it appears. Okay. Let's pause for a moment so I can pull up the spell book. And see what we have here. I'm going to start with understanding the language of creatures, because that's something that we can leverage in Llewdor. Okay. We're going to read book page 2. With trembling hands, you turn the pages of the Sorcery of Old and prepare to follow its instructions precisely. I've read this before, so it's just the same thing. Okay, put chicken feather in bowl. You place the soft, downy chicken feather in your clay mixing bowl. Put dog fur in bowl. You put the tuft of dog hair in the clay bowl. Put snake skin in bowl. You put the dried snake skin in the clay bowl. Add spoonful of powdered fish bone. I misspelled that. Add spoonful of powdered fish bone. You pour a spoonful of fishbone powder into the clay bowl. Put thimble full of dew in bowl. You pour the thimbleful of dew into the clay bowl. Mix with hands. You knead the ingredients in the clay bowl with your hands. It turns into a stiff dough-like substance. Separate mixture into 2 pieces. You grasp the doughy mixture in the bowl and divide it into 2 pieces. Put dough pieces into ears. You very gently place the 2 pieces of dough in your ears and pull your hair down over them. You prepare to recite the magical incantation. Feather of fowl and bone of fish molded together in this dish. Give me wisdom to understand creatures of air, sea, and land. Wave magic wand. You wave the magic wand over your dough-filled ears. Successfully completing the spell, you again look at the wizard's laboratory. Okay. What's next? 1 second. Causing a deep sleep. Page XIV 14. With trembling hands, you turn the pages of the sorcery of old and prepare to follow its instructions precisely. Grind the acorns in a mortar. Putting the dried acorns into the stone mortar, use the pestle to grind them into a rough acorn powder. Put the acorn powder in bowl. Turning the heavy stone mortar upside down, you carefully pour the acorn powder into the bowl, then return the mortar to the table. Put nightshade juice in bowl. You very carefully pour a cupful of nightshade juice into the clay bowl so as not to spill a single drop. There is now an ugly brown mealy liquid mixture in the bowl. Stir mixture with spoon. You gently stir the unappetizing liquid. Light charcoal brazier. Making sure there is fresh charcoal in the brazier. There is a small supply here. You light it with the flint. Soon the brazier is hot. Heat mixture. Sorry, I'm trying to read the handwriting here and figure out where I left off. Heat mixture in the brazier. You gingerly place the clay bowl of ugly brown liquid on the charcoal brazier. Soon the hot brazier brings the mixture to a bubble, then a boil, releasing a bitter-smelling steam. You let it boil until the nightshade juice is nearly gone, then remove it from the brazier. Spread mixture on table. You pour the bowl's contents onto the oaken table, then spread the hot, sticky mixture over the tabletop. In a few minutes it is dried to a very crumbly, coarse sleeping powder. Acorn powder, ground so fine. Nightshade juice like bitter wine. Silently in darkness you creep to bring a soporific sleep. Wave magic wand. You pass the magic wand over the table. Put sleep powder in pouch. You untie the small leather pouch, scoop the powder from the table, and place it within. You now have a pouch full of sleep powder. Successfully completing the spell, you again look at the wizard's laboratory. Okay, so now we have dough in the ears. It's difficult to look inside your own ears, but as best you remember, the pieces of dough have tiny bits of feather, snake scales, and fur sticking out of them. What did we just make? It was sleep powder. The leather pouch is securely tied and filled with the coarse brown sleep powder you so proudly manufactured. And then one of our spells, we emptied a jar. It's just an empty jar. You can put something inside it. Okay. Let's read the next spell. We can't do teleportation at random yet, so, and we've done transforming another into a cat. We've done flying like an eagle or fly. Brewing a storm. That is page LXXXIV. What is that? That is LXXX is 84. Okay. With trembling hands, you turn the pages of the sorcery of old and prepare to follow its instructions precisely. You know you must work with utmost care. Every step is critical. I've read this many times. Okay. Put a cup of ocean water in bowl. Carefully, you pour the cup of ocean water into the mixing bowl. The brazier is lit. Heat bowl on the brazier. Being cautious not to burn yourself, you gently place the bowl of ocean water on the hot charcoal brazier. You watch as the salt water slowly warms, then begins to steam. Remove it just before it boils. Put spoon of mud in bowl. Adding a spoonful of mud to the hot ocean water, you slowly stir the mixture. The mud turns the water a cloudy brown. Add pinch of toadstool powder. You put just a pinch of toadstool powder in the bowl of hot brown liquid. Blow into hot brew. Leaning over the hot brew, you forcefully blow your longest breath of air into the bowl, whirling the brew around and around. Elements from the earth and sea combine to set the spirits free. Oh, I must have misspelled something. There's no silver lining in this cloud, Gwydion. Thanks for playing King's Quest 3. Next time, be more careful. Okay, well, this is why we save after casting each spell. And sometimes as I mentioned before, the handwriting within the spell book can be hard to read. And then add that, like when I was doing this as a kid, and soporific wasn't in my vocabulary, and trying to read and understand that was particularly difficult. And that's when I had to go to like my parents for help in reading this. They're like, Mike, what are you doing? Anyway, put cup of ocean water in bowl. Heat bowl on brazier. Put spoon of mud in bowl. Add pinch of toadstool powder. Blow into hot brew. Elements from the earth and sea combine to set the heavens free. When I stir this magic brew, great God Thor, I call on you. Wave magic wand. Wave the magic wand over the bowl of hot brown liquid. Pour storm brew into jar. Waiting until the liquid has cooled, you carefully pour the storm brew into an empty glass jar. Okay. And the last spell for now, becoming invisible. CLXIX. So what is that? C is 100, LX is 60, IX is 9, so 169. Cut cactus with a knife. Using your kitchen carving knife, you cut a gash in the small cactus. Juice begins to drip. Squeeze cactus juice on spoon. Grabbing one of the measuring spoons from the oaken table, you grasp the slick cactus in your hand and squeeze it until you have a spoonful of cactus juice. The small cactus is quite devoid of liquid now, so you toss it away. Put cactus juice in bowl. You carefully add the spoonful of cactus juice to the bowl. Put lard in bowl. You scrape the lard into the mixing bowl and keep the now empty jar nearby to store your finished formula. Add 2 drops of toad spittle. You cautiously pour the 2 drops of toad spittle into the bowl. Stir mixture with spoon. Using one of the stirrers lying on the table, you mix the lard, cactus juice, and toad spittle until it is smooth and blended. Cactus plant and horny toad. I now start down a dangerous road. Combine with fire and mist to make me disappear without a trace. Wave magic wand. You wave the magic wand. Put ointment in empty lard jar. You scoop the invisibility ointment out of the clay bowl and return it to the lard jar. Successfully completing the spell, you again look at the wizard's laboratory. Okay. So we have invisibility ointment. Jar of invisibility ointment is nearly full of thick, oily substance. And storm brew. The dirty brown storm brew sloshes around in the half-filled glass jar. Okay. We also, to get teleportation at random, we need to get the amber stone. So let's look at the map. Oh, there's some areas that I haven't visited yet. We're also going to use this opportunity to listen in to some of the animals that are around here with the since we have the doe in ears. And there's a chance for animals to be in the tree or nearby when you enter a screen. And then there's a chance that they'll start talking. You'll be able to overhear them. If it doesn't happen in the first few seconds, then that's not going to happen. I have to be careful on this screen because that screen has bandits as well. You hear one of the birds speak to the other. See that young fellow over there? When that old wizard, Manannan, kidnapped him, I heard tell his real parents were heartbroken over his loss. I would think so, chirped the other bird. I'd sure miss my brood if they disappeared. Yeah, see there, the bandits. Fortunately, I can... Says one lizard to the other. I wish I could do something for the poor boy. He seems so lost and confused. I agree. What do you think he's doing here anyway? Questions the second lizard. I would guess that he's probably trying to run away from the wizard, states the first one. I hate to think what will happen to him if Manannan finds him. Well, we took care of him. Usually on this screen, there's a pair of bluebirds that appear. There we go. Your ears perk up as you hear one twittering bird say to her friend, Do you think that young man looks anything like his twin sister in Daventry? I don't know, but I hear her beauty is legendary, chirps the other bird. Well, he ain't exactly chopped liver either, the first little bird states. So this is where the connection to Daventry from the first two games starts to come into play. Squirrels don't often speak up, it seems. Oh, never mind. You overhear the squirrels chattering. Have you got your winter supply of nuts gathered? One inquires. Not quite yet, answers the other. Do you? Oh, sure, states the first squirrel. Ages ago, you'd better get to it, I'd say. You notice one squirrel chattering to the other squirrel. See that young man over there? Yes, what about him? The second one inquires. Poor thing, he doesn't even know who his parents are, says the first squirrel. Asked the other, well, who are they? He's really a prince. His parents are King Graham and Queen Valenice of Daventry, replies the first. And now we have all the family information about who we are. I like how they added that where you can kind of organically just casually discover that as you're wandering around the world. Okay. Uh, let's take care of this cave. Dip eagle feather in essence. Okay. You swoop close to the spiderweb and find the huge spider guarding the entrance. Taking her in your beak, you vow to get rid of her once and for all. I like how the blue spider just blends in with the ocean. Your magic spell is wearing off. You have entered the cave of the oracle. You are almost afraid to speak. The oracle remains silent for a long time. Finally, you hear a hollow voice that seems to come from far away. I've been waiting for you for a long time, Gwydion. I have sorrowful news for you. Years ago, a terrible three-headed dragon invaded Daventry and keeps the people in a state of terror. This monster requires once a year the sacrifice of a young maiden. Sadly, your own sister, Princess Rosella, is the chosen one this year. Time is running out for her, your parents, and Daventry. You, Gwydion, the hollow voice continues, are the only one who can save them. But you must hurry. I have something to give you, a small stone of amber. Use it wisely, my friend. The oracle grows silent again and seems to fall into a deep sleep. You attempt to thank the oracle, but the oracle does not respond. Okay. You can't walk around the tree. I think that was the last screen I had to uncover. We have the amber stone. The stone is smooth, round, and an unusual color, somewhat like that of amber. And we now have uncovered the whole map. We need to make one more trek up the mountain. That was close. I almost fell. Open door. Still no cat on the stairs, which is great. All right. We have one more spell. Teleportation at random on page 7. EII. Grind spoon of salt in mortar. You place a spoonful of coarse salt grains in the mortar. Then, using the stone pestle, you grind the salt until it is very fine. Grind mistletoe in mortar. Placing the dried sprig of mistletoe in the stone mortar, you crush it with the pestle. Soon you have a crushed mixture of salt and mistletoe in the mortar. Remove the pestle and lay it aside. Rub stone in mixture. You place the beautiful amber stone in the stone mortar. Very carefully, so as not to miss a single spot, you rub the amber stone around in the mixture of ground salt and mistletoe. When you've finished, you remove the amber stone and discard the remaining powder. Kiss the stone. Smack. With this kiss, IV impart power most dear to my heart. Take me now from this place hither to another place far hither. Wave magic wand. You wave the magic wand over the encrusted amber stone. All right. Now we have this. Where's the stone? Magic stone. The amber stone was a beautiful reddish yellow, but it is now encrusted with a salt and mistletoe powder. Now we can, by rubbing the stone, teleport. But there's no guarantee where you're going to end up. So it's completely at random. Okay. Let's take a look at the map. We're going to teleport down. We're going to teleport over here. Get a nice view of the pirate ship. Sandy beach stretches north and south below steep grassy cliffs. Look, ship. There is a ship docked at the pier. One of the rowdy seamen yells to the barmaid, "Wench, come over here with more rum." Talk man. The sailors peer at you through bleary eyes and continue swilling their rum. One, who looks like the captain, pauses and drunkenly slurs, "Aye, me bucko, be ye wantin' passage on me ship? What ye runnin' from? Aw's no matter, s'long as ye got gold, let me see how much ye got." Alright. Give gold to pirates. As you bring out the purse, the captain snatches it from your hand and says, "Aye, lad, I sees ye do have a wee bit o' gold. It's less than me regular fare, but I'll gives ye passage anyways. We'll be waiting for ye at the wharf, but not for long." The captain and his men down their rum in one long draught and then leave the tavern. "You'd better get aboard, boy, or we'll sail without you." Look, ship. A large ship is tied to the dock. As the gangplank is drawn in, you hear the captain shout to his men, "Take his things and put him in the hold until I figures out what to do with him." You have a sneaking suspicion that you made a big mistake. These are pirates. Nothing like a little salt air to perk up a boy's spirits. All things being equal, you might have enjoyed this ocean voyage. However, you found your accommodations to be slightly less than satisfactory. Okay. Checking something here at another window. All right, so at this point, the pirate ship sequence takes about 15 minutes of mostly waiting. Don't know why it takes so long, but the ship is basically sailing from Llewdor to Daventry. There's nothing that you can do to speed it up. You just kind of have to explore and wait. You're in the dank cargo hold of the pirate ship. With caution, you look around the dim surroundings. Mostly you see stacks of wooden crates. Looking upward, you notice a rope ladder dangling partway through an opening in the hold ceiling. The ladder is directly over the largest crate. Get box. Drop box. And on the screen over here, there are mice that generally appear that we can listen to what they say. What do you think the pirates will do with the boy they shanghaied? A little gray mouse squeaks to a companion. They'll probably make him a cabin boy, answered the other mouse. What happened to the last cabin boy they had? Didn't you hear? They fed him to the sharks just for sport. Oh, fun. No mice this time? You know the pirates buried treasure, you hear one of the mice said to the other. What about it? Asked the second mouse. Says the first, well, I just heard the captain talking about it with one of his men. He said it was buried. Now let me see if I can remember. Oh, yeah. He said it was buried near a lone palm tree. From the palm, you walk 5 paces to the east and then start digging. Too bad we can't do anything about it, muses the other mouse. Okay. And that is the useful bit of information that we needed from the mice. Jump box. Jump box. And then jump. You look curiously around. Out a porthole, you see the swell of the ocean. A device for turning the ship's rudder sets in the floor. A rope ladder extends up through an opening in the ceiling. This must be the captain's cabin. He seems to be a bit more tidy than his mates, as the room is clean and orderly. Against one wall rests his bunk with a large chest at its foot. Across the room is his desk with a chart tacked to the wall. Look chart. You stare at the chart tacked to the wall. It traces the route the ship is now sailing. It leaves Llewdor, crossing a wide ocean, and arriving at the foot of a mountain range. An X has been marked at the arrival point. Open chest. Look in chest. You found all your missing possessions. You take them with you. Close chest. You are standing at the aft end of the ship. You found yourself below the lower deck. They keep the ship's lifeboats stored here. There are open doorways at either end of the compartment. There is a shovel lying by the lifeboat. So now we have, what, shovel? Shovel seems to be quite average, with an iron scoop and a long wooden handle. This is the upper deck of the pirate ship. A ladder leads to the lower deck. Looking down from this height makes you dizzy and you almost fall. Holding tight, you look up and notice a crow's nest at the top of the mast. And there's a pirate hanging out in there. Okay, so at this point, as we look at our map, we just have to wait. This is one part of the game. I don't know why you have to wait so long, but it's a 15-minute wait to get from Daventry, or excuse me, from Llewdor over to Daventry over here. Unfortunately, I can't use the map to teleport to get there. You hear one of the pirates shout, "Land ho, Captain!" Okay. So that means we are nearing our destination. Okay. We have about 3 minutes before they anchor. The lower deck has no railing. We can't go to the galley yet because there is a pirate right inside. Almost there. Do you know where the pirates are taking us? One gray mouse asks the other. Heard them talking about our buried treasure chest, the other mouse answers. I think it's buried on a beach, and they're going to dig it up. Oh, I remember, squeaks the first mouse. Remember when they first buried the treasure? It was on a small beach, and behind the beach was a high mountain range. Remember hearing one pirate say that nobody has ever crossed those mountains alive. Okay, well, I guess we're going to try. We have about a minute left before we arrive. There. Oh, look at that. It looks like we're almost there. There are actually a few ways off the pirate ship. Um, One is at this point I could use the teleportation at random, rub the stone, and it might randomly appear in the ocean right next to um, the shore. I think it might even be able to jump off. But one thing that I typically wait for is um, for the pirate ship to fully dock, because that gives me an opportunity to explore the ship a little bit more. I can use the sleeping powder. Here we go. You hear the first mate shout, "Drop anchor and prepare to go ashore." So, um, I guess we pour powder on floor. This is sleep powder, right? So, was it pour sleep powder on floor? Okay, that's what I was missing. And we say slumber henceforth. As your sleep spell takes effect, a silence suddenly descends over the ship. Jump box, and jump. You see here now, there is a pirate asleep in the bunk. The chef is asleep in the corner. This is the galley of the pirate ship. A large iron stove dominates one wall. Pots, pans, and barrels surround it. There is a long dining table at the other end of the room. I could actually walk around and come out on the other side, but there's no value in doing that. There's nothing there. You are on a small beach to the south of a looming mountain range. Not again. One of the nasty pirates is here on the beach and he would like to capture you. You'd better run. All right, we just head north real quick. Head back down. You are on a small beach to the south of a looming mountain range. And pirate ship is gone now. So, if I remember the instructions from the mouse, it was take 5 steps, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then dig. You dig and dig, but unfortunately find nothing. All right, maybe one more. There we go. I think it just wasn't full 5 steps. You have uncovered a small chest. You remove it from the hole and open it. Inside, you find precious gems and ingots of gold and silver. You close the chest and take it and its contents with you. All right, so now we have treasure chest. The small wooden chest was buried so long that its wood is slightly warped and its brass is tarnished and rusty. Inside are precious gems, gold and silver ingots, pearls, and gold coins. You're at the foot of a high, snowy mountain range. A cliff looms before you with a tricky path winding its way up the steep face. The snow-capped mountains advance forever upward. A narrow path skims along the top of a precipitous ridge. As you look down, you see the steep cliff below you. The mountains continue to march forever upward as you trek higher and higher. It's getting cold, and there are traces of snow. Below you stretches a beautiful valley. You've reached the heights of the mountain range, and snow and ice surround you. You still see no end to the mountains. It's bitterly cold, and you shiver in your thin rags. A path through the snow leads onward. You've reached the summit, but still the snowy mountains continue relentlessly forward. What is this? A cave with a snowy path leading to it. What could it all mean? This cave is disgusting. It reeks of rotting flesh. Half-chewed bones of numerous creatures are scattered everywhere. Your skin creeps as you look at the sight before you. This is definitely not a good place to be. What is this thing? Oh no, it's the abominable snowman. Okay, I want to dip fly wings in essence. Okay. The abominable snowman seems quite confused by this. He stares in amazement, then heads back to his cave. The impulse to buzz around has vanished. You feel yourself growing bigger, so you head for what you hope is a safe place to land. Your magic essence is all gone. You've made the very top of the snowy mountain range. The snow path ends here at a cliff. Far in the distance, you can see a vast green valley. Could it be Daventry, you wonder? Your excitement mounts. Bravely, you grasp the ice-laden rocks and attempt to scale the nearly vertical wall. Be careful, Gwydion. You congratulate yourself on successfully eluding the abominable snowman, and give myself 4 points. Oh, well, forgot to save at the top of the mountain there. All right, so dip fly wings in essence. The abominable snowman seems quite confused by this and stares in amazement, then heads back to his cave. The impulse to buzz around has vanished. You feel yourself growing bigger, so you head for what you hope is a safe place to land. Your magic essence is all gone. Bravely, you grasp the ice-laden rocks and attempt to scale the nearly vertical wall. Be careful, Gwydion. You congratulate yourself on successfully eluding the abominable snowman. All right, let's save here. This is a very steep and dangerous cliff. Numerous caves honeycomb its face. You could get lost in the caves if you survive the cliff. Boy, are these caves dark. Oh. Boy, are these caves dark. Carefully make your way down the eastern side of these mountains. The path travels along the top of a narrow ridge. Looking back, you see the snowy peaks through which you had so recently journeyed. Whew! You wipe your brow as you feel the worst is now behind you. Okay, it's the same description. If we look at the map, you can see we've traveled all the way from the beach through the mountains and now down this side of the mountain. Whoops, you slipped. You look upward and view the mountain range you so arduously crossed. Well, you made it to Daventry. But what is this? It looks like a cave leading deep into the mountain. You see evidence that a door once covered this cave entrance. Huge boulders lie scattered about, apparently from tumbling down the mountain. The countryside of Daventry looks as if it had once been beautiful, but now trees are charred, a chasm splits the earth, and wildflowers no longer grow. Nearby is an old, broken-down well that someone has filled with rocks. It's useless now. You stare at the run-down shack. Upon the porch, a withered gnome rocks in a creaky old rocking chair, whistling a merry tune. The shack leans heavily to one side as you wonder why it doesn't fall. Hawk Gnome. You speak directly to the old gnome. He chuckles softly to himself, then replies, "It's about time you got here, lad. I mean, Prince Alexander. Welcome home. Heaven knows we need you. Daventry's been suffering for years now since that despicable dragon came." The old gnome narrows his eyes to slits and leans forward in his chair. "That monster demanded the sacrifice of your poor sister, Princess Rosella, and I'm afraid time is running out. Your parents, the king and queen, are suffering such grief they have locked themselves in yon castle and refuse to see anyone." Staring intently at you, the gnome goes on. "It's up to you, Alexander. Your country and family need you. It's written in the wind." The wizened gnome relaxes and settles back in his chair. He begins whistling again. You gaze sadly at the deteriorated castle. It's obvious that it was once proud and beautiful, but now its banners are torn, its stones and statuary crumbling, and the moat has been drained, as if no one cares anymore. So these are the old scenes from King's Quest 1 modified. Had the gnome's hut is on the river. We saw the well that had the mirror. Let's look at the map. Let's teleport back to the mountain. This cave is merely the entrance to crumbly stone steps that lead upward into the depths of the mountain. Pebbles and little rocks lie scattered upon the cave floor. This is the cave that would take us to and from the land of the clouds. Crumbled stone steps go upward into the depths of this mountain. To your amazement, you see light coming down from above. Looking down, you see the stairs steeply descending below you. Finally, the top of the cave. You notice bright light streaming in from outside the cave. Looking down, you see the crumbly stone steps precariously descending into the bowels of the mountain. So now we have some more sections of map completed. Never quite get to use the map as much here in Daventry. It feels strangely hot up here. All right, so at this point, we're going to... Let's look. Looking around, you see clouds surrounding this small bit of land like a white cottony sea. Charred stumps of trees spoil the scene. Rub ointment on body. Okay. The dragon has laid waste to this area. The earth is scorched and all the trees and plants are charred. Stir brew with finger. So we're going to use our storm brew now. Brew of storms. Churn it up. Bolts of lightning strike the huge dragon. He howls in pain and falls to the ground, dead. Your magic spell is wearing off. Untie girl. You rapidly untie Princess Rosella from the wooden pole. She looks bewildered as to who her benefactor may be. I'm your long-lost brother, Prince Alexander, you proudly exclaim. The girl looks doubtful. I'll explain it all later, you continue, realizing that now is not the time for this. Just follow me. Let's go meet the folks. With mixed emotions, the girl agrees to follow you. Princess Rosella is gorgeous. Why, you'd be interested in her if she weren't your own sister. That's weird. Her hair is long, silky, and golden. Her eyes are blue as the bluest sky. Her skin is creamy white, and her body, well, embarrassed, you clear your throat and avert your eyes. Bashfully, you introduce yourself to your long-lost sister. How can I be sure you're really my brother? Princess Rosella wonders. I know. My mother always said that Alexander had a cute birthmark on his bottom. Let me see if you have it. Embarrassed, you reveal your cute birthmark. Oh, Alexander, she cries, you really are back. Mom and Dad will be so happy. You ask Rosella about your parents. Mom and Dad were heartbroken when you disappeared as a baby, she explains. Dad searched everywhere for you. Obviously, he never found you. Pausing, she looks at you questioningly. By the way, where have you been? You explain that you have been living with an evil wizard in the land of Llewdor, and that you turned him into a cat by using magic. How awful for you, she exclaims. Well, I'm so glad you're back. You ask Princess Rosella to tell you about Daventry. She replies, hard times hit Daventry right after you were kidnapped. Dad and Mum tried, but it was like they had lost their will. Clenching her fist, Rosella continues, we were down on our guard and the terrible dragon came. We all thought it was the end. I was scared, you know, your sister answers, but I did want to be brave. I was hoping my sacrifice might somehow help. She brightened a bit. Maybe it did. Because of me, you came. Now we're together again, and together we can put Daventry right. You comment upon the spoiled scenery of Daventry. Princess Rosella looks disgusted as she replies, the dragon did all that. He burnt our countryside, and we were all terrified to even come out of our houses. You don't remember, but it used to be very beautiful. You and Princess Rosella engage in idle pleasantries. You discover that your sister is not only beautiful, but very strong-willed and brave. You admire that in a woman. Oh, yippee, you did it, Your Majesty, the gnome squeals in delight. I knew you could save us all. King Graham and Queen Valenice will be overjoyed to see you two. He claps his gnarled hands. I must run ahead to announce your arrival. The gnome spryly scampers toward the castle. The castle doors are wide open to welcome home a long-missing son and a much-loved daughter. Atop the castle, the banners proudly wave. The heavy feeling of oppression is gone. Hope at last returned to Daventry. You nervously entered the throne room with your sister, Princess Rosella. Before the twin thrones stand your parents, King Graham and Queen Valenice. Graham and Valenice are overjoyed to see you. Alexander, where have you been all these years? Your mother exclaims. As your father, I'm so proud of both of you. What a joyous family reunion. You are home at last. King Graham points to the mirror. That was once a magic mirror, son, he says sadly, but it has been clouded ever since the night you disappeared from your cradle. Before your astonished eyes, the magic mirror clears and shines anew with brilliant clarity. Queen Valenice cries in delight. The terrible dragon is dead, our children are home, and the future looks bright for us all. King Graham lovingly retrieves his adventurer's hat with the red feather. With emotion, he tells you, Alexander, Rosella, this old hat and I have been through a lot together. Now it's time we had a new traveling companion. He flings it in your direction. Up and up it gently arcs. You raise your arms to catch it, and so does Princess Rosella. Down it comes, nearer and nearer. The end. Congratulations on your successful completion of King's Quest III. We hope you've enjoyed playing as much as we enjoyed creating it for you. May the adventuring continue with King's Quest IV. Well, this concludes my playthrough of King's Quest III. If you enjoyed this content, please feel free to like and subscribe, and I hope you come back for more.